Welcome back to the Lovin Dubai show. Determined is a 2024 short film that portrays the struggles of finding belonging in a society that often lacks patience and understanding for people with different abilities. Today, we're excited to be joined by the filmmaker behind this award-winning film. Welcome to the show, Joe Alexander. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me on here.
Thank you for being here. We watched the trailer. It's amazing. But before we jump into Determined, just like if you tell us about your career in filmmaking, how did it start, and so on.
So I started my career in sales and logistics, which is so completely off field for what I'm doing right now. I spent close to about 15 years in that. My last job was as a regional manager for a very small company called DHL, where I used to move these big oil rigs from country to country and even from ocean to ocean. And then during that time, I always had this passion for photography and creative stuff. And I just was doing those small gigs on the side. And I think what happened was it started leaking into my work life. And I said, okay, fine. Now this is more fun. I love what I'm doing in the corporate world, but I think it's time to transition, because once it starts leaking into your office life and then your performance goes down over there, I'm like, yeah, I think I should concentrate on one thing. So I took that up as a career then and just went with it, and it was interesting. And I think from the photography side, it just evolved very rapidly into filmmaking. And then now I produce and direct films for others, and I get to travel the world.
That is truly amazing that you shifted from one industry to another after 15 years. Tell us, there's so much. Tell us about the evolution of filmmaking. How did that start? If you were kind of into photography, how did the evolution kind of continue?
So I was in photography, and suddenly I was on a job, and somebody said, "Hey, can you pick up this camera and hit record and just make sure it's in frame, everything in frame?" I'm like, yeah, I think I can. I don't want to, but I can. And I just did it. And I said, hey, this is not as different as photography, because photography is one frame and filmmaking is 25 to 60 or 120 frames. So just making sure your frames are right, I think that just helps. And that's how it began. And I was on sets. I started filming as a DOP, editing a little bit, and suddenly progressed to other stuff as well, and then came to producing, where I work with a couple of companies in the US and UK, where they asked me to help them produce a couple of films that they're doing, documentaries, which are being pitched to Netflix and Hulu and Amazon, which is very exciting. I can't talk about that, but
wow, what an amazing journey!
Yeah, so it just rapidly went through, and I'm just happy how it got through.
Congrats.
It's actually very interesting, but let's talk about Determined. So what inspired you to actually create Determined?
So Determined was actually, the backstory is we entered a competition with Paramount Hotels, and we had, I think, a couple of days to come up with a script. So I sat down with a couple of friends, and I'm like, hey, I need to make something that is really passionate. And they're like, okay, what can we go about? And the whole US messaging towards people of determination was really inspiring to us. And because I work a lot with corporate sector and we do a lot of DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion, I think that messaging was perfect for this. So we came up with a script, and I gave Rose, who is one of our writers, she full access, like, okay, go crazy, let's see what you guys come up with. She came out with a script, I read it, I'm like, man, I see myself in all of these characters. And that's like, let's do it. Let's go ahead, let's do it. And we did this. And the whole hope was that we do it in a way that it's not for winning an award, just to get the whole message of inclusion and how people of diversity are being treated around the world. And I think that came across very well.
So tell us about the script without giving too much away. Tell us about the script, and then also how do you relate to each character?
Okay, so the script was mainly about Victor, this guy, and he's a neurodivergent. He's got ADHD and misophonia. And these are, so misophonia is basically, you get shocked when you hear certain sounds, certain noises, And so it was a very interesting concept, and we want to just portray that message further. So Victor is a main character, and because it's his first day at this prominent hotel and he's just going through life, it is about following him and how people treat him because he's different, and just going through the whole motion of the day. And in that journey, he finds hope. Not only does he find hope, he gives hope by the end of it. And technically, it was classified as a musical by Paramount, and we didn't want it to be that because there's a song, there's a 1-minute song inside, and it comes out very well.
And how do you relate to the characters?
So I have ADHD, and I think most creative people have ADHD for some reason and are neurodivergent, and I'm on borderline spectrum of that. I can't remember things sometimes, so I have to write things down a lot, especially when I'm in meetings and I'm speaking to people, just to be on point, like right now. So it helped me on that. The other character is, we have a girl in it who's played by Aisha. Her character name is Andy, and she is kind of paraplegic. She's on crutches and on a wheelchair. And we have Darsh, who is the supervisor for Victor, and we have Andy's father, who is Xander. So each of the characters plays a different role. So Victor is neurodivergent. Darsh is this everyday, normal kind of character, and who just tries to be himself, but at the same time, sometimes comes across rude in the way he's interacting with Victor. And then he's like, okay, I need to check what I'm doing right now and just relax and just be nice with Victor as well. So it's like a normal everyday character. And then you've got Xander, who is this overprotective dad, and he loves his daughter, and that overprotective love turns out a little bit crazy sometimes. You know how you can be with children. And so it's the messaging of these 4 characters. So I find myself in each of them because I'm a father as well. I know I can be very overprotective of my kids, but sometimes you just have to let them go so that they can grow.
Nice.
Well, the focus of the movie is all about sensory issues.
Yes.
And of course, and having, like the topics like ADHD, misophonia, and all of these things, like I would say translated to the viewers is not that easy. So how are you able to translate that and maybe relate to the viewers?
So as a filmmaker, I love using sounds and how they come off across in scenes. And I think as a tip to any filmmaker out there, it's great practice when you actually start doing that. And that's what we said. Whatever the movie is, we're going to make a lot of this sounds, diegetic sounds, come out in the movie. So it just helps. So we partnered up with Josh Das, who did the score of the movie, the musical of this movie, the sound effects. And I told him, hey, this is what my idea is. I just want to have a lot of diegetic sounds, a lot of things. And the way he lined them up for the movie was very subtle, but it's there. And there's a lot of hidden Easter eggs through the sound, which just helps the movie along. Like even the trailer, so it starts off with these different sounds, and not many people can hear those sounds. Like I think it's 8,000 hertz is a normal parameter of sound that normal people can hear. But we had a sound every time Victor feels triggered, and it's there in the movie. And it was like a cheat code, but we just wanted to use that because it's an unnerving sound. It makes you wonder what's happening over here. Subconsciously, it makes you wonder. So that's how we lined it up.
And speaking of sounds, why did you choose, I guess, a busy hotel setting for the set of the movie?
So the rule was you shoot in a day, and you shoot only on location, and only with certain specific things around. So it was challenging, but we did it within 24 hours.
Amazing.
Well, why do you think it's very important to make the
protagonist?
Yes, a bellhop.
It just fit with the character, because you wouldn't think of a bellhop as the hero of a film, per se, or to convey a message. We could have done with any other characters, but we wanted to make sure that there was hope in that, because the whole DEI message, diversity, equity, inclusion message of workplaces, just help people with these kind of aspects. UAE is very, very tolerant with people of determination. That's the messaging that's there. It's been out there for a long time, and that's something that we support. And I think a lot of companies also are coming towards it. Not as many as should, but it's opening up. And the hope with the film was that a lot more of these companies start including people of diversity and even ADHD or whatever it is. Because as soon as you reveal to a company that, hey, I have these issues, the problem is that they're like, oh, this guy might not be the person that we're looking for. Let's go on and look for somebody else. But the flip side of it is, you could say that people with diversity or all these issues have superpowers. Like for me, I would be, because I keep forgetting, I have to write down things, and it helps me just remember things as well. And they're very good with numbers, very good with creative skills, and it just comes out.
Love that, superpowers. We weren't aware that you shot this in a day, which of course I'm sure presented some challenges. So talk to us a bit about the challenges that you faced throughout the entire process. Kind of what was the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, I don't think there were challenges. It was just planning our times properly, just so that we get our shots. More than that, because I'm in this industry and I've been making films for the last crazy amount of years, we planned it out very well. There were two directors. One was me, one was Rose as well, who was also a writer, and so she took care of all the actors. I took care of the technical side, and it just was smooth to just work through. Yeah, there were some challenges. Like any production is, there's always challenges. But I don't think there was a massive challenge. It was just making sure that we are on time for everything else.
Getting it done.
Getting it done.
Well, as you mentioned, the UAE is all about inclusivity, which honestly is amazing. But how did the UAE's focus on people of determination, I would say, influence the film?
It was just something that we just went through the motion of what works best. Rose has a niece who's also a person of determination, and it just helped. It just helped the story because it's something personal to everybody. The thing about making short films is it's a passion project, right? And if we are not able, if we just wanted to do it for a prize, we could have just made anything that's award-winning. And because the hope was not making award-winning, it was to deliver a message of hope, a message that people can relate with, even though they're not people of determination. That was our complete hope in it, and I think that came up very well. So people of determination might be a saying for some people, but for us it was like, yeah, this is very personal. This is really personal. This is me, technically.
Well, a massive congratulations to everyone involved, because you took home 3 awards with Paramount's Recreate Drama, Best Actor, Best Cinematography and Best Director. But you teased something at the beginning of this interview that you've also got other projects that are kind of going towards Hulu and Netflix. Tease a bit more. How amazing. And are they shot here? Are they shot internationally?
Internationally. So like I said, I work with these companies, and what I do as a line producer is I go to different countries and produce these films and documentaries with them. Really interesting projects, but because of the NDAs and stuff, I can't.
Let's just do like if we're talking movies, so we can do like, so is it like documentary, movie, or series?
No series, but yes to both of the other first two.
Documentary and movie. Yes. Short movie or long movie?
Long movies. Cool. So it's multiple projects over multiple countries and still ongoing. So lots of short documentaries. I think we're covering about 5, 6 very pretty important people, and the movie, which is very interesting, which is already on pitch, and so. It's interesting. That's all I can say about it. I'm so sorry.
Well, what genre?
It's mystery.
Oh, so exciting. Massive congratulations to you. We always say on the show that it's an opportunity to meet people in Dubai who've done incredible things. 15 years working in the, what would we say DHL is? Supply chain and logistics. And then following your dream, and now film director. So amazing. And congratulations to everyone on the set of Determined. How can we watch it?
Now we are, because it's going towards the film festival route, we're not allowed to put it on YouTube or anything else. That's the first place I want to put it up. But what we're doing is we're trying to screen it. We are looking, so as a filmmaker in Dubai, screening films is one of the most hardest things. Like the cheapest place that we could find was very much out of the budget, and we only wanted to be a screening for our crew and very close people. It was very out of budget. So we did partner up with a couple of places that are allowing us to do it. We are in talks with somebody. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Go on.
But we are in talks with a couple of people as well, so that the whole message of diversity, equity, and inclusion comes across. And what our hope was to work with companies who already support the message and maybe use that as an avenue to pitch them moving forward as well. Okay. So that's there. We have so a particular airline has picked it up as well. Wow. And they have accepted it to be on their November intake to be shown on their airlines as well. So that was a big win, because like I said, short films are just passion projects. You don't monetize it, and an airline's coming up to us and saying, hey, that seems like an interesting topic. We want to have this for everybody to watch. Was very interesting for us, and like, yeah, let's do it. How much money is involved? Not much. I'm like, I'll take it.
Amazing. Well, creating these conversations is so important, and that's what this movie does. We cannot wait to watch it. And thank you so much for coming in to share the story this morning.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Farah.
Thank you, Casey.
And that brings us to the end of our show today. We're back with you tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye-bye.